Hello world, I'm Smith Kingston, Houseplant Guru Extraordinaire. Joining me today I have Duncan, Yabonton Melon, and the beautiful Tammy Fandango. I know, I can't believe it either. In this video, we're going to learn how to turn everyday glass, clay, or ceramic mugs, pitchers, teacups, regular cups, crocks, bowls, candle jars, regular jars, vases, vases, pots, or bottles, and really any other kind of a glass container into the perfect pots to satisfy your succulents. Over here, I have what can only really be described as a plethora of happy houseplants. Some of them I potted as long as 2 years ago. Others I potted a little bit more recently than that. But one thing they all have in common is that each of these plants has been potted into a container that was not originally intended to house a houseplant. So these two containers used to be candle jars. In a past life, these were mugs. These two I got at an international market in Tempe. Here I have some antique milk glass. This used to be my friend Joseph's favorite mug for cereal on the go. This one I bought from an old widow at a swap meet. She told me that it used to be her husband's favorite dish for salsa. More antique milk glass. What's the difference, you ask? Between a container that was intended to house a houseplant and a container that is not? Let me answer that question with one word. Drainage. Okay, people, let's get serious. It's time to raise awareness about plant safety. Now, one of the leading causes of preventable houseplant death, especially in succulents, is, you guessed it, overwatering. Now, all plants need water, but most plants' roots, especially those protruding from the bases of succulents, need a chance to air out in between waterings. Giving your plant's roots a chance to dry out in between waterings will help your plant fight off pests, avoid fungal infections and root rot, and a host of other one-way tickets to a watery grave. The best and arguably the easiest way to ensure that your leafy friend has a chance to get some air down there is to make sure that the water that doesn't get absorbed by the roots has somewhere to go. Now, people who are bad at keeping houseplants, like Derek, they might mess around with a moisture meter or measure the water they put into their pots and hope for the best. I, on the other hand, like to allow gravity to remove the excess water from my pots. I find this method to be much holier. Making your containers holy is easy if the container is made of metal or plastic, because you can use all-purpose drill bits like these, or you can just poke a hole in it with something sharp. But if your plants are classy, like these plants, then you might find yourself dealing with material that's a little bit trickier to penetrate. But don't worry, where there's a Smith, there's a way, and Tammy Fandango and we got your back. All you gotta do is get yourself some of these. So these are what are called glass and tile drill bits. These are all carbide tipped. I got this one at Lowe's, this set I got at Walmart, and this one I got at Ace Hardware. All three of these were between $9.70 and $9.90, so they're pretty affordable. These drill bits are different than most, and using them can be tricky, but I got it figured out. And if you watch closely, listen carefully, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, then you can have it figured out too. I believe in you, Garrett Olmsted. Most of the materials that we plan on drilling today will break if they are heated unevenly. These carbide tipped drill bits generate a lot of friction, which has been proven by science to cause things to heat unevenly. In order to keep that heat from building and cracking these future plant houses, what we're going to do is send a stream of cool, clear water over what I like to call the danger zone. If you have friends, the best way to do this is to have one of them spray the danger zone with one of these. But if you're like me, and all of your friends with hands, fingers, and manual dexterity are busy doing other things, then the following method is the method for you. All you need is a plastic bottle, some water, something sharp, and access to gravity. Don't worry about it. So you want to set your plastic bottle a little bit higher than the place where you're planning on drilling your future plant houses, and then drill a hole near the bottom. And then, when we're ready to start drilling, all we have to do is loosen the top. From this point on, it's a good idea to wear eye protection and gloves to protect your fingers and eyeballs from the tiny microscopic shards of broken glass we'll be shaving away from these future plant houses. Personally, I also recommend wearing overalls because not only do they make you look really cool, they also make other people aware that you know what you're doing. And last but not least, boots. That's right, boots. Because when you're drilling holes in glass, you want your feet to be an asset and not a liability. If your hand drill is adjustable, set it to the slowest setting. Once you have your drill loaded with a glass and tile drill bit, go ahead and start drilling. Set the container upside down on a folded towel. Thicker padding is better, as the pot will be much less likely to spin out of place and break. Keep in mind that the material being removed from the container are tiny microscopic shards of broken glass. So maybe don't use a towel you plan to dry yourself with at any point in the future. A thick stack of paper towels also works great, but if you plan to drill a lot of containers, you'll need to replace the stack every few drillings because eventually the paper towels will break down as they become soaked. If you have access to a drill press, I would definitely recommend doing it that way, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use a hand drill just to show that it can be done this way also. I like to keep the pot upside down until the diameter of the hole is the right size, and then flip the pot over and drill from the inside. This allows for a slightly more beveled edge and corners that are not quite as sharp depending on the thickness of the bottom of your container. Remember to be patient, take it slow, and only apply light pressure. Pushing too hard greatly increases the chances of breaking your container, and it can dull your bit, which will end up really slowing you down in the long run. Some types of glass and ceramic can be drilled through in no time, and others will take much longer. It's not uncommon to spend upwards of 10 or 15 minutes drilling one container, especially if it has a thick base, so don't be discouraged if it feels like it's taking forever. When using a hand drill, I recommend slightly and slowly pivoting the drill in a small circle as you drill. This will keep the hole just a little bit wider than the diameter of the tip of your drill bit, which will help to ensure that your bit doesn't lock into place and literally pry the container apart. Also, try to resist the urge to drill with one hand and stabilize the container with the other. A thick stack of towels should be more than enough to keep your container from spinning out of place and breaking. Once all your future plant houses have gotten holy, it's a good idea to wash off all the microscopic shards of broken glass before touching them with your bare hands. No matter how experienced you are, when it comes to drilling glass, there are no guarantees. Things could still go wrong at any moment. So keep that in mind if you're planning on drilling holes in any precious family heirlooms. Okay, people, thanks for watching, and I wish all of you the best of luck when it comes to making your very own holy plant houses. If you have any questions for me, or if you have any suggestions about things you'd like to learn about in future videos, feel free to let me know in the comments section. Do you like bad graffiti, worse jokes, but pretty good advice about how to take care of your houseplants? Well, consider subscribing right here. Can't get enough Smith Kingston or Yabonton Melon? Then check out this video or these videos. Thanks for watching.